Greetings, everybody, from Riverfront Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida. It is USL Super League on Peacock today, presented by Tampa Bay General Hospital. Together, TGH and USF Health formed the region's only academic health system, integrating clinical health, teaching, and research to deliver the best outcomes, including cutting-edge technology, therapies, and treatments. And we've got a cutting-edge matchup on Peacock here between the Tampa Bay Sun and Spokane Zephyr. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew. And Marion, we look at the Super League standings. Tampa Bay trying to catch up to Dallas, and Spokane still has a chance, of course, to find themselves in the top four.
Tampa Bay Sun FC have really made a splash here in the spring. They've been creeping up the standings, but so has this Spokane Zephyr FC squad. They are far from out. They do, Sean, have the most available points of any team left in the Super League, but it's going to come down to approaching each game as it comes and making sure that they get all 3 points if and when they can.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into each team. We begin with the Tampa Bay Sun, unbeaten in their last 5 games in the spring. You go back to the winter parts of the season, that's 6 unbeaten and 10 points accumulated over that time.
And the note there is they left the fall on a positive note, and not only did that repetition continue to pay off in the spring, but it's been the interjection of new players to this roster, to this lineup, that have added an extra emphasis, not only to the defensive presence of this team, but also to their ability to be efficient in front of the goal.
If you've been taking a look at the Golden Boot race around the USL Super League, you're going to see a lot of Sun at the top, 3 out of 5 in particular from Tampa Bay.
They're playing with such confidence right now, and they're playing it as a collective. And we see these 3 names, but Denise Schulte-Brown will be the first to tell you that it is a collective effort that allows these groups to shine. But Sean, when you have scored 14 of Tampa's last 15 goals, it's important to highlight these players. Carly Giamona, such a distributor. Cecile Nielsen, she is efficient in the 18-yard box. And Natasha Flint has become one of the most underrated players in all of the Super League. All
have scored big goals at big times in Tampa Bay's season. And for Zephyr, on the other side of things, they come into this game also in solid form. 2 wins out of their last 3.
And almost a third of their points collected in their most recent matches. That tells you that they've changed some things coming into the spring. We are looking for a full 90-minute performance from this side tonight.
The consistency is something that Joe Johnson did talk to us about earlier in the week, but a player like Katie Murray can certainly help to rectify that.
Katie Murray has injected life into this group. She's got a tenacity and a certain vision on the ball. Alongside Allie Cook, those 2 additions have been key for Zephyr to not only be a bit less predictable in the attack, but also to have a bit more confidence in their build-up.
We're starting to count the games down towards the playoff chase in this inaugural USL Super League season. Both Tampa Bay and Spokane Zephyr right in the thick of things as we get towards the final few months of the season. Huge game coming up here in the Sunshine State. Kickoff is coming up next on Peacock.
Welcome to the Florida Lottery's Department of Good Fun.
We pack all the fun into our games,
while also doing good.
Like sending nearly 1 million students to college.
On Bright Future scholarships.
And giving billions to education across the state.
Because we do fun different here.
The Florida Lottery. It's good fun!
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous. Addiction can happen in as little as 5 days. Most opioid addiction begins with a legal prescription. It's time to speak out, opt out, and throw out. Talk to your doctor or your dentist to see what's right for you, and ask about the risk of addiction. Ask if there are alternative treatments. Learn how to safely use, store, and dispose of opioids to prevent addiction, because it only takes a little to lose a lot. Visit cfbhn.org for more information.
I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. You're more than a superstar.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder. Walkouts here in Tampa Bay are presented by Tampa General Hospital. Here on Peacock, about to get this one started between the Tampa Bay Sun and Spokane Zephyr FC. And Marion, we dive into the starting lineups. Denise Schulte-Brown has a very strong Sun 11.
She does have a strong, and there are some similarities, but there are also some differences, Sean. Instead of that 3-5-2, we're used to seeing this Tampa Bay Sun side, and we're going to go with the 4-4-2 for the home side. She's looking to get a lot out of her two holding midfielders, Moore and Hawksdaughter, but it's really going to be Haugen and Almendarez in the back line who try to connect with Nacello and Goins in the wide channels.
On the other side of things for Spokane Zephyr, Joe Johnson hoping that this lineup can continue the good times moving up the table.
I love that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And for Spokane Zephyr, it has been working. Key into the front three, Amina Ekic, Allie Cook, and Mackenzie Weiner. Those are the players that Tampa Bay is going to want to deny involvement all night long because they are problematic.
Tampa Bay coming in 5th in the table on 26 points. Spokane on 18 points, just behind them in 6th position. It's that time of the year. There's going to be a lot of table watching in the last 9, 10, 11 games of this inaugural USL Super League season. And in front of a good crowd here at Riverfront Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida, we are off and running. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew, it's a pleasure to be with you as always. And it really is a playoff 6-pointer. For Spokane in particular, Joe Johnson told us earlier this week, consistency, trying to find that consistency and have it continue on throughout hopefully for them, the vast majority of the rest of the season. But the Tampa Bay Sun, who of course are just on the outside looking in of the top 4 at the moment, have a big home game here. They've been very good at home throughout much of the season. Just one loss in 9 previous games here at Riverfront Stadium. Denise Schulte-Brown telling us that it's felt more and more like home as the season has moved along, and we're thrilled to see how this one's going to play out. 2 prior meetings between these two, both were back and forth games. They were split down the middle, and it's a pretty important rubber match here tonight. Cecilia Flew getting it back into play. The Sun are in blue from head to toe. Spokane are in their road whites. Ball is switched onto that far side. Good battle for it as it trickles out of play. It's a Tampa Bay throw. We spoke with Denise Schulte-Brown earlier this week. One of the first things she said was how proud she was of her team coming into this game. The recent run of form for Tampa Bay has been filled with draws, and they were just so thrilled to get over the top last time out. A really important 1-0 victory against Carolina Ascent that's helped Tampa Bay get closer and closer to the likes of Dallas in that top 4 positioning. Just the ability, she said to us, we don't play for draws, we play for wins, and to get over the hump has given Tampa Bay a ton of confidence heading into tonight.
Also, as a head coach, there is something that gives you confidence personally when you're starting to see your players figure things out real time on the pitch. Another thing that Denise Schulte-Brown mentioned, perhaps a difference, the biggest difference from the fall season to the spring season, is her being able to watch them problem solve in real time on the pitch.
Ball's going to be rolled all the way back to Hope Heisey, who clears away. She's in goal for Zephyr tonight. Tash Flint, who nearly fell kindly for, and then it rolls into the penalty area. Heisey collects for Spokane. Of course, for Spokane, coming off a big 3-2 win over DC Power. Joe Johnson was just thrilled that they finally got some goals across. They've been struggling a little bit for goal output as of late, but leave it to the big-time performance of Amina Ekic to help carry Spokane through. A late second-half brace, including the stoppage time winner, and a game that Spokane really had to have to keep pace in the playoff chase. on the turn here. Emma Jaskinek. Tampa Bay looking to slow things down on this near side. It's going to be kept in play, just about. Maybe a chance for Spokane to provide some service into the penalty area there. A critical intervention by Jade Moore, who's been a really good leader throughout this season for the Sun. More good Spokane pressure at the back here. Play continues on, no whistle from the referee, and now the whistle sounds. It's a Tampa Bay free kick. Now, Joe Johnson, the Spokane coach, talked to us again about the goal-scoring output, how important that was, and really the creativity that her team provides. She said, we lead the league in XG. It's about time we put away some more of our opportunities, and for her it's about continuing to push on, continuing to find that consistency in the group. Obviously very difficult to do. It feels like it's the age-old question amongst every league in the world. It's something they feel they can find, and they're taking the right steps, she said, to get to where we need to be. And of course, they got one eye on the playoff chase. She said that's our goal at the end of the season, get to the playoffs. And this team feels like they can get there. Push it a chase on the far side. Tampa Bay in possession here. It's a lovely switch of play. Just about kept in on the near side. Heisey clears after Haley Thomas mopped it up for Spokane. But there's more defending needed to be done on the far side, and it is hoofed upfield by Alyssa Bourgeois.
And those are the moments that Spokane is going to have to be very careful to be mentally turned on. This Tampa Bay Sun presents themselves differently defensively. They can ebb and flow in and out of high-pressure situations, and oftentimes they bait you into feeling comfortable playing it around the back line, and then they have this shadow pressure tactic to them, just like what we're seeing now, where they force you into the next pocket, they win it, and then all of a sudden you're back facing your own goal. So there are going to be key moments of recognition for Spokane here that's going to keep them out of trouble early.
It's Hochstadter who kind of reset that play for Tampa Bay. It was interesting, Denise Schulte-Brown, when we asked her about how she wants Tampa Bay to attack Spokane, she highlighted Taylor Almer as almost a player to work around in the middle of the Spokane setup. That's quite some praise coming from the opposition coach as well. And Tampa Bay, and you've already kind of seen it so far, they want to attack on the wings, the flanks, the near side and the far side, and that's where they feel they'll have the best chance to break Spokane down. As a challenge comes in there, referee shakes her head no as far as a foul is concerned. It's Spokane possession. Alyssa Nichols is our head official, very experienced. Spokane on the ball here with Haley Thomas. Near side, Ekic. That front three for Spokane, we highlighted the players that they have there. Allie Cook, Ekic, Weinert. Both teams really have very impressive attacking front lines. Flew was able to step back in there defensively for Tampa Bay, and the Sun do clear their lines, getting some of the strikers to help out in the defensive effort, and it allows Tampa Bay to push Spokane back. And then bronze ball down the line falls kindly here for an opportunity for Weinert. Weinert was caught up to and then dives back in to win it back for Spokane. The tussle continues in the corner. Weinert pushes on, and it's going to be a free kick for Zephyr just in front of the corner flag.
What a battle that's going to be.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
And Mackenzie Weinert. And one thing about this Spokane side is that their front three have always been exciting, specifically their wingers, right? We've always known that Mackenzie Weiner and Amina Ekic, they're fast, they're creative players on the ball, and they have this fight about them where it's me versus you, and I'm always going to win. What has changed about this group is the insertion of Allie Cook. She can now attract attention in moments like this.
From the corner, I should say it's a short corner, really. More of a free kick, and it certainly gave Tampa Bay something to think about, but it bounces out of play. Denise Schulte-Brown and her staff really want to keep Allie Cook at bay, particularly in and around the penalty area. That was another big talking point with her earlier in the week, and on that particular occasion, Tampa Bay were just about able to have everything covered. From the throw is a chance to maybe switch the point of the attack on the far side. In the end, Sydney Narcello was able to clean that up for Tampa Bay, although the Sun do concede the possession back to Spokane inside of the opening 10 minutes. This is Sarah Clark. Maybe a chance to clip it forward. Sophia Braun. Hopeful ball onto this far side. Header nudges it out of play by Haugen. Jaskinek gets it back. And that is quickly dispossessed. Tampa Bay back on it. Ball is clipped all the way upfield. Not the best of clearances here. Could invite some pressure from the Sun. Flew lays it off when there's no one there. Was expecting maybe a trailing run for Tampa Bay. In the end, Spokane emerged with the possession. And as soon as I say that, Tampa Bay are right back on it, making life difficult for them to clear it. Again, the last time these two met, December 2024, a 3-2 win here for Tampa Bay, a game that really had a punch-for-punch kind of feel about it. The Sun emerged victorious. Meanwhile, Jaskinek, she can certainly pack a punch. That time the shot flies into the stands.
One of the other changes for the Spokane team from the fall to the spring are moments like these where the buildup is crisp, it's clean, and they're finding passes to players going forward. That sounds like such a simple thing, but at this level, when you're an attacking player, when you're a midfielder, and you're having to go through all the congestion that is the middle part of the pitch, anytime that you can have a pass that leads you facing goal or play on the half turn, those little nuances as players, that is really the key things that will end up unlocking more opportunities for you to go forward. And we've seen that in the reflection of Spokane's expected goals. Now it's just a matter of having the focus for 90 minutes, having that killer instinct in front of goal to put some of these away. But the small details have really been improved by Spokane here in the spring season.
That last sequence was brought all the way back for a Tampa Bay free kick. So they're going to send some numbers in and around the penalty area here. The ball was headed clear, just about. But Tampa Bay do get a chance to refresh the possession. Bissett. Really good ball down this far side. Chance to maybe put this into the middle. And it's a miscued touch out of play with some numbers waiting in the penalty area. Missed opportunity there for the Sun. Here comes more Sun pressure here. Moments where Spokane have to be careful at the back. They do manage to get through the first wave. Murray out to this near side, forced back Thomas to Heisey. And Heisey, maybe smartly, plays it over the top. There are some teams that get a little stubborn at times, playing out of the back, and they don't always like to change. That was smart of Spokane to make the adjustment. And now here comes Amina Ekic. Don't want to see her running into space if you're an opponent, but she can't find Jaskinek, and the ball trickles out of play.
And Amina Ekic is just so dangerous in these pockets of space where she's sitting right behind the midfield line, right in front of the defensive line, turns with no pressure to her. But watch this run come across the side. You see the Tampa Bay defender go with her to the left. In that moment, these are the nuances for Amina Ekic. In that moment, can you recognize the space that's now been vacated by that Tampa Bay Sun defender, have a touch with your right foot, and have a go at goal?
Comes Spokane, moving it forward. Murray, really good turn into space. It opens up here for Thomas. Thomas has a hit, but it flutters over the top and out of play. Ashley Orkis had it covered. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. That ball bounces past pretty much everybody. Clark is actually going to smartly let it roll for Heisey, despite the pressure from Parker Goins. What a heavy challenge there, but it's a clean challenge from Page. Maybe a chance to move this forward here. Flew, sliding it through. But not quite able to pick any teammates out, and Heisey collects. Well, a few almost moments on either end, really, in these opening 16 minutes and change. Again, we looked at the league table earlier. We have it up off to the side here, and Tampa Bay comes in 5th place. Live table, of course, since the game is tied. Tampa Bay level on points with Dallas, but they come in on 26 points here tonight. Spokane on 18. Really does feel like a game that if Spokane can win, they'd only be 5 points back of Tampa Bay, who again are just outside of the playoff picture at the moment, but not by much. They cut the deficit down on Dallas, more importantly, as well.
You and I were doing the maths. Well, you were doing the maths. I don't really do the maths.
Oh, you do. Come on.
No. I was trying to go by points available. I was like 30 to 40, and you were like, look, it's games back. And honestly, when you put it that way, that really shows the importance of the next stretch of 2 to 3 matches for this Spokane side in particular.
Yeah.
Because when you get to having to make up more than 3 games, right, that's when things get a little bit interesting. But with Brooklyn's recent losses, they have invited the rest of the table to catch up a bit, and Spokane's done well just to kind of stay close enough. Now it's about, can you make some impactful jumps?
A chance to make an impact in the final third here. Orkis forced to get something on that, and it's going to be a Spokane corner on the far side.
Spokane really having the better of the build-up here in the final third. And again, these are the moments that Allie Cook shines. This is not something they were able to do in the fall season because they didn't have that traditional number 9 to hold up play and link from the middle part of the field out to the wingers. And they have that in Allie Cook.
Ball in by Ekic, hits the post. We've seen an Olympico already in this USL Super League season. Wouldn't put it past Ekic to repeat the trick. She hits the frame on the fly.
A little bit too close for comfort for Ashley Orcus. Yaskinik does well to eliminate Orcus being able to come and get that ball. If that had just a little bit more on it, it would have been right into the near post. You're right, if there's any player in this league that's capable of doing it on purpose, absolutely Amina Ekic. She is just a thrill to watch, and again, another big key to Spokane's recent success is just having her back from international duty.
Another ball played across here. Bissett clearing it out, but Spokane gaining more and more confidence and momentum as these minutes fly by. From the throw, it's flicked on, but nobody makes the run, and it bounces out of play. Really does feel like Amina Ekic is going places. 5 goals in the Super League this season. She's one of the most dynamic players to watch, and it's been consistent throughout the season. One of those players that has a very, very bright future. Hoping to lead a bit of a Spokane press here, and they force a turnover. From the Thomas throw, Spokane will hold it up nicely here, but the pass was picked off. Good step defensively, however, by Bourgeois. And Spokane can still move this forward here on the far side with Weinert. And it's held by Orcus.
Just a scramble, and it feels, Sean, that every scramble right now, 50-50 second ball, is being won by the players in the white kits. Really on the forefront in the opening half.
Ball's clipped forward by Tampa Bay. Oh, it's a nice little touchdown into the penalty area, but it's well read by Hope Heisey. Does feel like Tampa Bay missing a little bit of that cutting edge in the final third at times. Plenty of attacking firepower, just haven't had that finishing touch required yet. Nice touch initially by Ekic. Stats sort of back that up as well. No shots yet for the Sun, despite some good opportunities that kind of been jotted down really as half chances in the end. But Spokane have certainly, at the bare minimum, made the goalkeeper work a couple of times.
Also important to note the craziness of the schedule right now for both of these teams, right? And there's something to be said in terms of the risk versus reward. We're not seeing much high pressure from either team, obviously, when it makes sense. But the slower start to this match makes sense for me given what the schedule and the schedule congestion has looked like.
Yeah, both teams have played and are playing 3 games in a very short period of time. It's the recent run for the Sun, 3 games. This is the 3rd of them in 11 days. Denise Schulte Brown's group, not to be outdone. 3rd game in a week for Zephyr. Both coaches did touch upon it, but both felt that they're prepared for it. And Jaskinik, again, gets in a good spot, just can't put it on target. Both coaches talked to us as well about some of the rotation that's had to be made. It's one of the reasons, we were kind of looking at this just a moment ago with Tampa Bay. For a player like Carly Jamona on the bench, I mean, that's part of that, right? You're trying to save legs for players and trying to make sure that your side is as ready to go as possible from a physical and mental perspective for the run-in, right? These last 9-10 games.
And there's something to be said as well for game minutes, right? When we look at successful teams that win championships, a lot of that comes down to depth and the minutes that these players have gotten in game-like situations. There's only so much of that you can replicate in training. So when you have a chance to perhaps rest some legs, have a different look rotation, obviously for Tampa Bay, we're not.
Oh, it's a takeaway here. Heisey with the mistake. Tampa Bay are in. Oh, but it's a goal line clearance. And Cecilia Flew is thwarted on the goal line. Brave defending from Sarah Clark to keep it even. Absolutely outstanding.
Sarah Clark has been outstanding from the start of this match, and Flew Nielsen just reads this incredibly well. She waits, she bites on Heisey's mistake, but Sarah Clark, all credit to her. There have been moments in this match already that she solved pressure against 3 or 4 players herself. And now we've got some end-to-end action, my friend.
Orcus had to be careful at the other end.
We can't get out of one replay quick enough to get to the other one because they're just, as soon as I say the match start is slow, here they go to prove me wrong. My goodness gracious. Goalkeepers having to work overtime, as is our production crew at the moment.
Can't take your eyes off it at the moment either. Hearts and mouths at both ends, really. Tampa Bay thought they were in. They thought it was a sure goal. Sarah Clark with an unbelievable goal line clearance. And then Ashley Orcus had to be on her toes at the other end. We're getting to the point in the season where either goal goes in there, everything could change. So those are big, big moments. Spokane with a set piece, the delivery comes up short. Maybe a chance here for the Sun to break out in transition here. Numbers are flooding forward. In the end, Mark's daughter does have support on this far side. And then it's well defended on the back end there. Knocked out of play by Bourgeois. Spokane with 2 defenders on it. And from the throw, it's taken back in quickly. Nacello's ball across is nudged down. Puts it up nicely for the shot. And it's blazed over the top by Page and out of play.
And that's actually extremely well defended by Spokane here in this 1v1 situation at the top of the box. Watch how Almendarez does well to get it onto her preferred left foot, but the closeness of Amina Ekic really forces the finish and the follow-through of Almendarez to hold up, causing that ball to sail sky high. That's very well done, especially from a winger.
Thomas. Ekic. Ekic, oh, did she go down in the penalty area there? Is it a foul? Alyssa Nichols says no. Maybe worth another look.
Contact, penalty. Inside the box, has the inside shoulder. Contact is made on Amina Ekic's right knee. A penalty missed for Spokane.
I do wonder if the positioning there of Alyssa Nichols, the referee, I wonder if she didn't quite see it the same way from her angle, and I wonder if that might have led to the non-call.
And let's be real, right? It's much easier for us to sit up here and say that we have the ability to review and see these things in replay over and over again. Very hard job in real time.
Our credit to our crew, by the way. It was a wonderful view of it. Ekic continues to be a handful for Tampa Bay. Orcus will clear it. Ton of talking points in this game, that's for sure. It has ebbed and flowed throughout. Ton of intrigue. Chance for Tampa Bay here. Early ball is played across. Begging for someone to get a touch onto it. No one obliged. It's a goal kick. service was certainly appreciated.
It was a lovely ball, and they had done well, Tampa Bay did, to finally start to bait Spokane into pressing numbers onto the far side. They switch it over to the near side, and then you've got time and space to serve a very dangerous ball. And Sean, what's the age-old saying? If you put a dangerous ball into a dangerous place, good things might just happen. I also have no idea if that's an age-old saying, but I'm going to go with it.
I've
Sounds
heard it
wise.
for a very long time,
Sounds
so
very
I think
wise.
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Sounds and was.
We could credit me with the saying if we agree that it's not an age-old saying.
Maybe at halftime we'll talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, we'll have a meeting about it. Collision in the middle of the park here. Oh, and Alyssa Nichols might take out a card here. It's going to be a yellow for Braun after the coming together. First time that Alyssa Nichols has gone to her pocket.
That's a no-doubter for me. Wrapped fully around, Braun is. Flu Nielsen even ends up getting to turn, face her own goal. And then it's just a takedown.
Yellow card confirmed. "30 minutes gone here in Florida. There's cleared away, a chance to maybe pick up the pieces here on this near side. And was it kept in play? No, the whistle goes. Of course, one of two games today, this one in the USL Super League. Brooklyn and Dallas, the other in the Big Apple. They just kicked off. Another game with a ton of playoff implications. No questions about that. One that, I'm not saying that they'll be rooting Tampa Bay or Spokane, but Brooklyn could certainly do one of these two teams a favor, that's for sure.
And look, there's a lot of pride in that match. The largest deficit that we've seen a team get beat by, 6-0, Dallas was able to take down Brooklyn earlier, well, honestly, just two, 3 games ago. So recent pride strike.
Brooklyn were one of the best defensive teams, still are, of course, but that night, or that day, I should say, just did not happen for them. From the set piece, it's sent out to the far side. It's an acrobatic clearance away by Ali Cook. Goes out of play for a throw-in. From the long throw. Spokane again clear it, not definitively, however. And it's blasted back in by Bissett. And it's out for a goal kick. Well, every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week. It's a deep dive into all things Super League with hosts Marion Crowder, you may have heard of her, and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season on the Sirius XM app. Tampa pushing to try to break the deadlock here. Towards the final 10 minutes of the half, and could fall for an opportunity here. The shot is deflected. Over the top and out for a corner. Parker Goins not far away.
This is the first time we're seeing Parker Goins in the starting 11 for Denise Schulte-Brown, and she simply has not touched the ball enough. She is a very skilled player going forward. You see it there, her ability to evade pressure, get her body turned for half of a window, and ends up creating a corner kick opportunity for her side.
Well, the Baldwin Group is proud presenting sponsor of Tampa Bay Sun Corner Kicks. Protect what's possible. chance to keep the ball in on that far side, but Spokane emerged with the possession here. It was really good effort by Amina Ekic to keep that going, and Spokane regains the possession on the near side with Thomas. Clark, who's a big reason why it's 0-0. At the moment, big goal line clearance earlier for those maybe just tuning in. Jo Johnson wanted to see her team put together a complete 90 minutes more and more often. They've certainly been tested. It's been another game that's ebbed and flowed. Two playoff hopefuls battling it out in the USL Super League. It's lived up to the billing so far. Nice centering pass here. It could open up for a shot. It was blocked away off the boot of Murray. And briefly up for grabs for Ekic, but it's going to bounce out of play before she could fully react. Ten minutes left in the half. Here come the Sun once again. It's a good ball over the top. It's an even better touch. Keep the Sun moving in the right direction here. More numbers flooding forward. And on the layoff, Haugen crossing it into the middle. Didn't quite find its way to Goins. It was cut out. There's Ulmer. Talked earlier about how Schulte Brown was kind of game planning, at least in the middle of the park, around Taylor Ulmer's impact, because Schulte Brown said that she's just so disciplined, doesn't make any mistakes, doesn't make many mistakes at all. And Tampa Bay felt because of that they're more comfortable and more likely to succeed by going after the flanks, and that's been a constant effort from the hosts in this first half. And it's good Sun pressure again on this near side, leads to a turnover. From the throw. There's a chance to lay that off. Good step defensively by Weinert, who's also come back to help on the defensive side of things. Out it goes for a Zephyr throw. Touch was a little bit loose by Murray, and then she followed through to try to make up for the mistake, and Kate Murray is going to be booked. Tried everything she could to make up for that loose touch, but finds herself in the referee's book.
Two Spokane players now operating on a yellow card. You see that follow through, studs up even into the ankle shin area of Parker Goins.
That puts Murray and Braun on yellow cards for Spokane Zephyr. Bissett with the delivery for Tampa Bay, and it was headed down into a dangerous area as well, and Sarah Clark is able to just about clean it up at the expense of a Tampa Bay corner.
We knew that it was going to be important for Spokane to win their defensive duels, and ultimately that's what they've done here in this first half, and most of the time their wins in the defensive battles have set them up successfully going the other way. Have a chance to do it again.
Another Baldwin group corner here. Protect what's possible. Again, Bissett to deliver, but she takes it short. That's a lovely little ranging, weaving run into the penalty area, but Nasello runs out of room, and Spokane will clear it in the end. And it's a foot race up the other end, and Tampa Bay do just enough to try to hold off the likes of Alyssa Bourgeois, who never gave up on the play, and her efforts are not without bearing any fruit. She gets a throw-in for Spokane after all that hustle. Another ball feathered through here. Again, another foot race for it. But it is going to go out of play. It's going to be a goal kick. And it appears that there's already been a goal in the other game between Brooklyn and Dallas. The Trinity, inside of 10 minutes, have the lead in New York City. What a big goal that could turn out to be in the context of the playoff chase. Something about Dallas against Brooklyn. They just can't help but score, can't they?
Well, look, we've talked about, even with these two teams, the interjection of new life into the roster come the spring season. Dallas is another one. Cam Lancaster is the goal bearer for Trinity right now, and she has been a player for them that they have needed. So much about that Dallas side was excellent in the fall, but they really lacked some speed and some grit up top. Cam Lancaster brings all of that and is obviously seeing early fruits here.
Oh, this is going to fall in behind here for a Spokane chance. Mackenzie Weinert, after the initial attempt, couldn't quite follow up. Early ball played in behind here. It's brilliantly placed and brilliantly weighted, but it's also brilliantly defended by Sophia Braun. Made sure that Tampa Bay were not able to get even a shot off.
That was a lovely ball over the top. Actually, found Hope Heisey in a bit of no man's land as well. Forced her to have that pause, have that hesitation, whether she was going to come up and collect it, go back and defend her line, but her center backs have come up big multiple times tonight.
Also, by the way, if your name's Cam Lancaster and you play in the USL, you just score goals.
I'm glad I wasn't
you?
the only one thinking it.
My goodness. Something about that marriage made in heaven. Heisey with another drop kick clearance up ahead. A little bit of a loose touch from Nasello. It's out for a throw. Still about 3 minutes plus stoppages left in what's been a very intriguing first half, to say the least. Jaskinek playing it up ahead. It was just over the top for Weiner and a couple of acrobatic Tampa Bay clearances. Getting out of harm's way only for a moment. This is Haley Thomas. And it's a lovely turn by Murray, tiptoeing the touchline here, and then getting to the byline as well. Looks like it's come off of Murray last, and it's going to be a goal kick. Ended up being a good tussle, and Orkis will clear it upfield. Still time for one of these two teams to gain some pivotal momentum before the halftime interval arrives. Murray again. Assesses the scene, finds Thomas. Clark. Murray. Weinert. And Weinert tried to cut it back, but again, really good, stout Sun defending. Stops her in her tracks. Another opportunity to move it forward here. Bourgeois' ball in is dangerous! Diving header by Weinert. Diving save by Orkis. Cleared off the frame. Ball still in play, by the way, and now the whistle goes. And somehow the Sun escape.
And here you go. A lovely diagonal ball over the top and a diving header forcing Ashley Orkis. That reaction time is next level. But my question to Brooke Hendricks is why that decision? You have had a goalkeeper come up massively big. And in that moment, you almost force an own goal. That's one where you volley and you try to hit it as high and far as you can the other way. The positioning of Hendricks' body was not lending to a cheeky little flick out for a corner. Ultimately, no harm, no foul. But we've already seen it, right? Just how important the mental focus is in a match like this where you have two teams who can go in and out of these high-pressure situations. You have forwards like Allie Cook, forwards like Flu Nielsen, who can really poach on defenders and play the waiting game. Because you're playing against a team like that, your mental fortitude as a center back especially has to be key, because these are two teams who will make you pay for your mistakes.
We're into one added minute at the end of the half. This has certainly not been your parents' 0-0. My goodness, this has been a back and forth affair again, by the way, between these two. Everything but a goal, and it's come down to some incredible defensive moments on both ends. Incredible clearance from Clark at one end, and then Orkis at the other end with a magnificent save at point-blank range to deny Mackenzie Weinert, the two big moments of the half. And that ends the half here in Tampa Bay, but the scoreline does not tell the whole story. 0-0, but it's because of some extraordinary defensive moments and last-ditch tackles and saves to keep both teams off the score sheet, Marion.
Yeah, if I have to give an edge, just because it's 0-0, it would have to go to Spokane in this first half. I think they're doing well to continue winning on the individual defensive battles. They're using that to fuel their confidence on the ball and the attacking prowess. But for them, it's about getting it off their foot a little bit earlier in the final third. And then if you're Tampa Bay and I'm Denise Schulte-Brown, I'm going into the locker room saying, hey, we need a bit longer spells of possession. We have to force this disciplined shape of Spokane out to one side, and then we've got to look to swing it and exploit the wide channels on the other side. I think if they can do that in the second half, they'll find a lot of good opportunities.
Both teams really had a ton of chances in that first half, with the likes of Sarah Clark and Ashley Orkis for either side, able to just about keep this at a 0-0 scoreline going into the second half. Both teams in dire need of points at this juncture of the season in the push to the playoffs in this inaugural USL Super League season. It's a stalemate at the half in the Sunshine State.
You want to do it with me?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll marry you.
Ross and Rachel, this is war.
Can we just close the door?
They're ready for a fling.
Hands off me.
It's a big surprise. Frisky friends that like to share.
How you doing?
Let me show you my underwear.
Friends, trends.
Hook up with Friends 5 nights a week. Catch a full hour of Friends weeknights at 7 on Tampa Bay 44.
Tampa Bay area homeowners trust Morgan Exteriors for Simonton Hurricane Impact windows, Energy Star rated windows that qualify for the federal income tax credit. During our Spring Into Savings event, take 75% off installation. Ask about zero interest financing and the bonus. Purchase new windows and receive a $200 Target gift card. Plus, call now for a free $50 Amazon gift card with in-home estimate.
One thing I noticed is that when Chuck joined me, he challenged me.
You're going to be late.
Not as late as you. It's a natural thing between brothers, pushing each other.
Hey, it's one-upmanship. It's good for us, and it's good for our clients.
It doesn't get more fairer than that.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador, Spiked Bebidas.
Forward defending. Ramirez is in behind the keeper and scores!
Marley Canal is with the cross. Richardson tapped home.
Bedoya launches and tucks it into the top right-hand corner. Whoa! Save man by Alpizi.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew back here with you at the half on Peacock. It's Tampa Bay Sun 0, Spokane Zephyr 0. Really excited to see how the second half is going to play out. We'll get there in just a moment, of course. But first, news and notes from around the USL Super League. And, well, what a second half of the season it's been for Fort Lauderdale United, unbeaten in their last 8. They've set a league record for most consecutive matches in the league with at least 1 goal scored.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale right now looks just about unbeatable with Jasmine Hamid, Shania Gordon coming into her own. Players that have proven they can't be stopped. Tyrone Mears and company doing really nice there. Amina Ekic obviously talked about the importance of having her back. And the Tampa Bay trio, will we see Carly Jamona in the second half?
We certainly hope so. We'll have to wait and find out about that. And then upcoming schedule, of course, in the Super League, all games streaming on Peacock. Speaking of Fort Lauderdale United, they host Spokane on March 22nd. Then a huge game for DC Power, still trying to hang around in the playoff chase. They host Brooklyn, same day, a little bit later on. Lexington, dire need of points there. They take on Carolina Ascent, Marion.
That's the one that I have my calendar circled around.
Yeah, a lot of very big games coming up. And a big one here tonight. And of course, here at the half, we're joined by Spokane's first half savior, if you will, Sarah Clark, kind enough to join us. Sarah, thanks so much for taking some time. Can you take us through that incredible goal line clearance that you had in the first half?
Yeah, as the ball went back to our keeper, Hope, I just knew that I wasn't quick enough to actually open up for her and be an option, and when she played that ball, I knew I had to get back because she was one-on-one, so I just gave everything I had and tried to get back there to cover for her.
Sarah, one of the keys for you guys is going to be continuing to win those defensive duels. They're not only giving your team a whole lot of confidence, but they're setting you guys up well on the attacking end of the ball. What do you want to see more of out of your attack in the second half?
Yeah, I think we just need to clean it up a little bit in our final third. Play 1-2 passes, 1-2 touches, and just have more variety. I feel like once we get into that final third, we kind of juggle it and lose it. So if we can just hold possession and create chances, I think we'll get one away here soon.
Yeah, well said.
Sarah, thanks so much for your time and your insight, and best of luck in the second half.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Really excited to see how this one's going to play out in the second 45 minutes. A stalemate so far between two playoff chasing teams in the USL Super League. We'll have more to come after the break.
Whoever's dancing, when they give each section 30 seconds to get up and show us what you're working with. So they will choose the best three in that section to get a Rainy Bears gift certificate you can enjoy there in the kitchen. DJ Son Sean, here in section 1, you guys got 30 seconds to show Soleil what you're working with. Here we go! Let's go, section 1, quad 1. I see my dad right here moving it. It's all about the dads right now. Come on, ladies, get up. Come on, Jack, let's go, bro. Come on, big guy. You know you want a Rainy Berry. Okay, what's going on? Go away, pay attention. It's gonna be a tough one. Section 1. Congratulations to you all. Now, section 2. You guys are next up for our dance competition. Section 2 starts right there at the steps. And we're going to cut off section 2 right here with my guy right here. So everybody from this person over, you guys are section 2. DJ Sean Sean. Burn it up and let's see what section 2 is working with. Who wants the Rainy Berry gift certificate? There you go, baby. We love this man. Who wants it? He wants it. Rainy Berry, he can dance till he down to you and he'll count it. Section 2, what's going on? You guys know what Rainy Berry is? All you gotta do is take the three leg. There you go. You gotta work it on the floor. Section 3, you guys are next. Stand by. No way, what's going on here? Is it just in the Wednesday or too shy? We're having a tough competition. You got these guys over here. They're working it. Nobody wants to stop her. Oh boy. Soleil needs to see more. Soleil needs to see more from you guys. He's working with the baby right here with jeans khaki. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here's doing this too. I think she gets one as well. They are your top 3. All right, and finally, you guys are section 3. So if you want a Rainy Berry gift certificate, Soleil is keeping her eyes on you. 30 seconds to see what you guys are working with for the final Rainy Berry. DJ Son Sean.
Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, our entire crew down by the bay in the USL Super League tonight. It is the Tampa Bay Sun 0, Spokane Zephyr 0. About to get to the second half, but first, we have the first half highlights. We're really intriguing first half between two teams in search of the playoffs. And we just talked to her, Sarah Clark, with a huge block here on the line.
If you're just tuning into this game and you're hearing us say 0-0 and you think it's not entertaining, I have another thing coming for you. Sarah Clark, as you so rightfully mentioned, the savior of the first half for Spokane Zephyr FC, but really they had a lot of success in the attacking side of the ball as well. We've talked about Allie Cook, her ability to link up play, not only occupy the center backs, but then find the wingers in isolation. More of that to come for Spokane in the second half. And truly, the big diagonal ball seems to be on. But what about this moment from Ashley York as Mackenzie Weiner with an almost beauty of a diving header, a point-blank save, a questionable clearance, but still 0-0 at the half.
Two huge moments there, keeping us at a 0-0 scoreline. Halftime stats look like this, and you kind of alluded to this earlier, Marion. Slight edge to Spokane, not just in the role or the momentum of play, but in the stats as well.
And you heard Sarah Clark mention it in her halftime interview, how they're getting moments in the final third, but now it's about being a little bit quicker and having a little bit better decision making.
It's really well poised for the second half here between Tampa Bay and Spokane. Two teams pushing for the top 4 spots in the USL Super League. We'll have the all-important second 45 minutes here in the Sunshine State next. Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder here, about to get the second half started between Tampa Bay and Spokane Zephyr here on Peacock. 0-0 is the score. Tampa Bay and Spokane switch sides at the start of the second half. So Tampa Bay is going from right to left, and the second half of this pivotal playoff six-pointer in the USL Super League is underway. Riverfront Stadium here in Tampa Bay, Florida. Happy to have you along for the ride today. Really big game. Both teams need the points at this juncture of the season. And of course, we're going to be keeping an eye as well on the game going on in New York City between Brooklyn and Dallas. Dallas Trinity were 1-0 up last time we checked in there. And we'll give you any updates on that as we get them. Both teams have had really good chances to look back on in the first half. We highlighted the Sarah Clark clearance, and she took us through the role that she played in that. She had to get back there in time. And of course, Tampa Bay getting a big save from Ashley Orcus. And Tampa Bay have made a substitution as well at the half. Jade Morris come out. Jordan Listro has been a really big leader on this Tampa Bay side. Picks up the captain's armband and joins the fray for the hosts. Tampa Bay bluffing a bit with the press, but it does force the clearance over the top. Spokane forced to try and clear their lines again. Haugen's ball back up ahead. Needs to be dealt with here inside the penalty area. Hope Heisey is on the case.
We alluded to Tampa Bay in the second half really needing longer spells of possession. Spokane has done an excellent job of having a disciplined structure, and when that happens from an attacking perspective, you've got to be cognizant to bait them out of that structure and then look to exploit the opposing wide area. We're not seeing that yet. Obviously, the half just started, but the other part of that I want to see is a little bit more interchange between these front three. Flew, Flint, and Parker Goins right now sitting as the attacking midfielder.
Flew was the target on Flint's ball in. Out it goes for a Sun corner on the far side. And of course, Sun corners are brought to you by the Baldwin Group. Protect what's possible. Looks like Page will deliver. He's certainly congested between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. The ball was floated in, quickly cleared away, only as far as Listro. And the searching ball back into the penalty area, looking for Flew, and it's caught by Heisey. Well, we told you we'd have an update for you if there was a goal in the Dallas-Brooklyn game. Well, there has been a goal in the Dallas-Brooklyn game. The Trinity are 2-0 up. Allie Thornton's 9th goal of the season, which now has her as the joint Golden Boot leader in the USL Super League. And Dallas has become Brooklyn's kryptonite. I think we're beyond a reasonable doubt on that statement.
You're in a really fragile state right now if you're Brooklyn as well. Right here is when you start to think about how quickly you can maintain the spiral, right? One game, one poor showing, and I said it on our show when we did a recap of that 6-0 victory that Dallas had over Brooklyn. You turn the page, right? You go watch the film, you learn about the game, and you turn the page and you realize that maybe that's going to be the outlier. What you don't do is you don't let that turn into 2 performances, 3 performances, 4 performances. And Brooklyn right now has been in a drought seeing the ball go in the back of the net. And Sean, you know it as well as I do. On both sides of the ball, when you're not scoring, things get heavy very quickly.
Sun get a throw, and there's the updated Golden Boot race in the USL Super League. Did feel like at one point that it was Addie McCain's to lose, but Allie Thornton has given her a run for her money at the moment. You mentioned Jasmine Hamid earlier.
Yeah.
What a run she's been on. Don't count her out either among some of the others.
And that's one of the things that make that Fort Lauderdale team so dangerous. They can seem to be played off the pitch, and they've got true game changers who at a moment's notice with half a window can bury you.
Jasmine Hamid's also scored some of the best goals we've seen in the USL Super League this season as well. Thomas for Ekic, who also can score wonderful goals. And the cross wasn't bad either, but it was touched out of play by Bissett, and Spokane has a corner.
You want to talk about bangers? How about hers from last match? Set piece
Unreal.
Missile.
Yeah.
I mean, she just unleashed the amount of power, the amount of finesse that ball had on it.
She's a scorer of beautiful goals and a scorer of big goals, Amina Ekic. And it's more good service there, was nudged over the line. But there is a whistle here, and I think Jaskinek might not get this goal. We're gonna need another look. The goal has been disallowed. It will not count.
I have thoughts. And look, you've got to, I feel like it's our job up here to always lay out what our biases are. We all have them, right, as human beings. I come from a very attacking background, okay? I also come from a very short background, okay? So I just want to be clear that, you know, my perspective is a little biased towards the attackers. In that moment, Yaskinik, for me, did not impede Ashley Orcus's ability to get to that ball. She made firm ground. She stood her place. She went straight up. Think about like a basketball shot blocking situation. But goalkeeper's obviously heavily protected. Understand that, no doubt.
I think it's fair to say Joe Johnson and Spokane will feel a bit hard done by that decision.
Go back to the penalty not given as well in the first half.
Another whistle. This time it is going to be a free kick for Zephyr FC. And that was the contact, Marion, on Ekic. She went to the byline. Moments like that remind me of something that Joe Johnson did tell us when we chatted with her earlier, which was that her team needs to keep pushing. There's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be some difficult times that Spokane will have to overcome if they are going to get into the playoff chase. But in her words, she said we have to keep our foot on the gas moving forward. Feels like that is sort of coming back to light here during a couple of moments of adversity for Zephyr. The other thing she told us was that we're going to take it one game at a time and things of that nature. But she's like, we're road warriors. We're used to this. We're used to going on the road. We're used to dealing with all of that. And she said the nice part about this is that it's beautiful weather. We're going to keep it positive. And she said we've been leaning on video sessions to really help in preparation for this game today. So all those things are something they'll have to keep on holding on to during some of those difficult moments. Weinert follows up. It falls kindly for Murray. And now a chance here. Ekic. Lovely footwork. Still Ekic on the turn. Zephyr's attack can continue here, and then the shot sputters wide. Mina Ekic is at times a human highlight reel. So good with the ball at her feet. So creative as well, as Joe Johnson put it. It could be a chance here. Shot comes in from Thomas. Blocked on the edge of the penalty area. More brave defending, this time by Jordan Listro, putting her body on the line. Ball trickles out of play. It's a Zephyr throw. Listro is still feeling the after effects.
I tell you what, that hurts. It was a wonderful strike on the ball and had a lot of dip and potential movement to it. Hurts less than allowing a goal to go in. I can promise you that.
Well said. More good momentum here from Zephyr. Can they capitalize on this passage of play here? Bourgeois. Searching ball onto the far side. Weinert, though, it appears, is in an offside position. The attack will end there. Told you earlier, 2-0 Dallas leading against Brooklyn on the road at the moment. That would take Dallas, at least in the live table, into third place. It would drop Carolina Ascent down to fourth. It would just be 1 point clear of Tampa Bay if the results stay the same. That's a big if, of course. In Spokane, in that if it all stays the same scenario, would be 9 points back of the playoff spots, but they would still have a game in hand. And Tampa Bay are moving it forward here. It's a searching ball across. It actually was kept alive accidentally by Thomas after good work by Sidney Nocello. Didn't quite come off on that particular occasion for the Sun, but they're right back after it. Another searching ball across. He's knotted down and saved by Heisey. Now both goalkeepers have been able to come up with a huge stop.
And at point blank range at that, the reaction time for both of these goalkeepers has been excellent. And there's a lot of traffic, and the importance, the skill of this stop. Hope Heisey is shifting all the way to her right. She has to stop dead in that lateral shuffle, be able to set her feet to the left, and make a point blank stop. That's an excellent bit of skill.
From the corner, another header nudged forward, and a second time by Flew, and then it's still up for grabs. Murray, anywhere will do at the moment for Zephyr, clears it out for a throw. Once again, just like the first two meetings between these two, back and forth when it comes to who's got the momentum. Zephyr just had a really good passage of play, weren't quite able to get a goal from it, and then Tampa Bay answer back. And now a push and a chase here for Ekic. It is well covered at the back. Hendricks is able to sweep it clean. Goins now, good touch. And it's played beautifully through the lines for Flew. Flew holding up the play with Clark on her hip. More support arrives here in the form of Nocello. Flew again. High archer into the penalty area. Oh, and it's just over the head of Flint. Now stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super Newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. Approaching the hour mark here in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay again bringing some of that press forward. Spokane this time beat it with ease, but there were players up ahead in an offside position. Jaskinek forward thinking there, as you'd expect her to be. I think it was Ali Cook who was not ready for it, and the attack fizzles out for Zephyr. Flew again, nudges it forward, and then Tampa Bay have to slightly retreat here. Haugen with Ekic in pursuit. And it's good pressure by Cook. It's a takeaway, and Orkis is able to just about stop it. What is it with this end tonight? And then it's looped over the top and in! Spokane take the lead. It's a rainbow finish over the top and in from Taylor Ulmer. And Joe Johnson side have the lead just past the hour.
We just mentioned it, two teams who will make you pay for mistakes. Ali Cook does so well to create the pressure, force Ashley Orkis out of position, and Taylor Ulmer just puts it on frame, knows she's got a little bit of the wind at her back, and lets it help her to put that one into side netting. A cheeky little chip shot, all coming from the work of Ali Cook to force the positioning of Orkis to become awry. And this Spokane side, who has done so well in the opening 60 minutes, finally seeing the fruits of their labor. A well-deserved 1-0 lead for this away side.
third goal of the season for Taylor Almer. If she meant it, it's absolutely outrageous, the technique. But Spokane will not care one bit about that. All they care about is that they have the lead. But Tampa Bay are going to come right back after it. Nacello, lovely skill, and the ball across is touched away by Clark, who comes up with another big intervention for Zephyr. We said it in the first half, do not take your eyes off it. Back and forth we go. And that ball's gonna trickle out of play after another close call for the Tampa Bay Sun.
I mean, come on, Sydney Nacello. The skill, the craft of that player on the ball. She is one of the most magical players to watch go 1v1 in this entire league. And truthfully, Sean, Tampa Bay just has not gotten their wingers involved enough. They haven't put those magical players on the ball enough. But obviously, they've got the home field advantage. Denise Schulte-Brown said that. She said it felt like this stadium is now home. The crowd is ours. We know that they're going to be behind us. That's going to fuel us. And that's exactly what they're going to have to start leaning on in these heavy moments in the second half.
Well, it's a goal that would put Spokane just 7 points back of the final playoff spot with a game in hand. That's how quickly it changes. From the throw, and it's nudged along. Ekic with the layoff. Weinert blocked. Orcus tried to save it. It looks like it's going to bounce out for another Spokane corner as they continue to search for more. Spokane can sense how important these next few sets of moments can be here. Another goal. All of a sudden, Zephyr would be in complete command. Although 2-goal leads in this fixture this season have been pretty hard to come by, must be said. It's so tight. It's a hopeful ball back in by Ekic. Orcus couldn't get it. And then the volley over the top by Braun. Another close call.
And Amina Ekic again putting it in a dangerous area. Ashley Orcus has not done very well this evening with scooping balls up cleanly. Spills that one once again. But Braun unable to get her chest over it, unable to get her laces through it.
Nacello does really well to find that reverse pass, but it's cut out beautifully. Bourgeois from Jaskinek. The Sun ramp up the pressure. It's a Spokane throw. 25 minutes plus stoppages to go. I think Tampa Bay are going to call on some of the cavalry here. Try and turn the tide in the second half.
He replaces number 22, Paige Almendaris.
Looks like it's going to be 2 Sun changes here. Haugen and Page are both going to come out. Jackie Simpson, and we expected to see her, Carly Jamona, are both going to come on here. One very attacking move, one more on the defensive side of things. And Spokane are also going to make a change as well. I think Weinert is going to come out. That's the case. And Natalie Vigiano will take her place. 3 changes used now for the Sun. That's Spokane's first sub of the night. Despite the wonder goal from Taylor Ulmer, it's still on a knife edge here. Gianna tried to move that forward. It was cut out. Needs to be dealt with here by Spokane defensively, and a couple of nudged headers. See it go out of play. Nacello making more and more of a positive impact as this second half trickles along. Can Tampa Bay get back on level terms here? It's a lovely take on this far side when the shot is going to be blocked out for a corner. Goins with some beautiful skill. And there's a corner to come, brought to you by the Baldwin Group.
With the insertion of Carly Jamona, that's going to ultimately push Parker Goins to be a bit more flank-oriented, a bit more of a winger who can tuck in, pop out, hopefully finding her in more of those dangerous pockets of space.
From the corner, it's hit high into the air by Goins. It's just about saved on that far side, and it goes out for another corner off of Taylor Ulmer. Jamona, 6 goals in the Super League this season, joint leader for Tampa Bay. Oh, and then the free volley from Jackie Simpson, of all people, unmarked. And it flashes over the top, another one, where Tampa Bay would think they could have had a better moment turn out there. If Simpson had put that on target, she could have scored her first Super League goal there. Not quite in the end. Out of play for a Spokane throw. Zephyr trying to find Amina Ekic. It's cleared right back out for a Sun throw, this time with just over 20 minutes remaining. Sent upfield by Jamona. Allows Spokane to reset with Heisey. Listro, clever, out to the far side. Goins down the line. Jamona assessing the options here. And then trying to make a run to get to the byline here. Jamona's cross comes back off of her, and it's a goal kick. The shots on target certainly tell part of the story. It has been in Spokane's favor for a vast majority of the night. Quick throw down the line here. In the end, it does roll over the line. Back to Zephyr it goes. I talked about it earlier. Spokane have gotten a third of their total points. Just the recent run of form since the winter break ended. This would be a gigantic step forward for Joe Johnson's side if they can see this out. But that's still a big if. Tampa Bay, we've only lost here once in the Super League this season in 9 prior matches. tend to come back on nights like this in their home park.
It's felt a bit reactionary from Tampa Bay, especially on the defensive side of the ball in this second half. Much more chasing as opposed to structured, organized pressure, forcing the Spokane side into the pocket of space where you know your numbers are. And ultimately, this is a Spokane side who is very good on the ball, very skilled in possession, not afraid to play it around, create these numerical advantages all over the pitch. So when you're playing a team like that defensively, the discipline has to be there. You have to be able to shade them to one side or the other, make it predictable for the players behind you. And for Tampa Bay, that's ultimately how they're going to get a little bit more on the ball. And Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got to have the ball to score. And that right now is what Tampa Bay is struggling to find.
Right you are, Marion.
I'm glad. I would have been really embarrassed if you said, actually, I have a scenario for you.
Anyway. Early ball over the top is caught by Heisey. I'll show you my PowerPoint later that counteracts everything you
We're
just
taking
said.
we're taking the own goals out of it, right? We all know that's like the one scenario. Obviously, you don't have to do anything to reap the reward. But generally speaking, I feel confident in that statement.
As do I, to be fair. It's been Spokane's confidence as well that has ruled the day, I should say, so far. Led by Ekic and company, who looked to flood forward again. Ekic couldn't quite link up with Vigiano, but they'll get a throw-in out of it, Zephyr, on the far side.
And you can see for Spokane right now, she's going off of the bottom of your screen, but just how important it is for them to continue winning these aerial duels. Allie Cook is trying to shift a little bit deeper into the midfield. She's a little later to get up top because she knows winning these 50-50 challenges when the ball's going back the other way is important for them to close this game out.
Murray for Ekic. Back to Murray. Tight quarters there for the Zephyr attack. Good skill there, I should say, from Jaskinek. Almer could open up here for Zephyr. Here comes the shot! And it's just blazed over at the end by Bourgeois, who was in a very good position after some strong Spokane build-up play.
And that's really excellent. Jaskinek has been very effective in this match, and the prep touch you see there just gets a bit underneath her. Gets caught up under her feet, cannot hit that one fully through. Sails it high and wide, and some much needed reinforcements coming for Spokane.
Two changes, in fact, and actually the two players that were just heavily involved in that last sequence, Bourgeois and Murray, are both going to come out. Reese Tappan and Molly Rouse are the reinforcements. That leaves both teams with just two changes remaining, with under 15 minutes remaining. Spokane's turn to put on a little bit of pressure, and again it leads to a misplaced pass. Ekic in pursuit. Tampa Bay thinks better of it, just clears it upfield. Could potentially be 3 wins out of 4 for Spokane. Had that huge win back in February at Dallas. Kind of felt, just looking back, like a turning point for Zephyr. They did lose at home to Carolina Ascent after that, but then they bounced back again. And that big 3-2 win against DC Power they can make it back-to-back wins, as we've seen with multiple teams in the Super League this season. It could be the start of a really good spurt for Spokane at the right time of the Super League season. That's what they're going to be fighting for over these last 13 minutes and stoppages. It's one back here, Thomas. Down the line for Cook. He's not able to keep it in play. Thomas again, he's there to guard her position well. As the ball goes out of play here, I think the referees directed the attention to the fourth official. That's because there's going to be another change. Tampa Bay is time. The Hoke's daughter is going to come out. Jordan Zaid is on for the Sun.
I like that substitute by Denise Schulte-Brown. Jordan Zaid is definitely a player that burst onto the scene in this spring season. She's got excellent speed, excellent work rate, both of what you need when you're chasing a lead.
Another lovely marauding run here, Nocello. There's been nothing but positive in the second half. Here's Zaid. First real touches on the ball. And Spokane's defense led there by one of their best attackers, Amina Ekic, putting out the fire.
And Ekic has been so good defensively. Sometimes I feel like that part of her game goes very underrated because she has so many worldy, so many crafty moments on the ball, but really the consistency that she shows out of possession, the work rate she has on the defensive side of the ball make her a really special two-way player.
Nocello for the reset. First time ball up ahead by Simpson. And the pass back to Heisey. There was a collision off the ball. Clark making sure there were no follow-ups there. Jaskinek has some support arriving here on this near side. Tap in. Up ahead for Vigiano. More promise here for Zephyr. Tappan plays it across. Not quite cleared yet. Now it's further helped along. But the goal scorer, Almer, can reset for Spokane with 10 minutes to go. Braun. Back for Clark, whose goal line clearance becomes more and more important as the seconds tick by. Early ball in behind here. Vigiano switches sides to get on the end of it. Vigiano's ball into the middle was dangerous, but it was touched out of harm's way. Now can the Sun surge up the other end here? Flew beaten to it by the substitute Tappan. Jaskinek threading the needle beautifully to Reese Tappan. Tappan back into the middle for Jaskinek. Jaskinek lays it off. It's again further helped along by Rouse. Here's Almer. And then Almer had her pass cut out. Early ball up at the other end for Tampa Bay to chase. Flint scored some big goals for the Sun this season, but she's dispossessed there. Jaskinek settles it down for Spokane. Stay informed about all things Super League. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest info, analysis, and insight into the league. Now's the perfect time to start maybe just about daily checking the USL Super League website with the playoff chase heating up. It looks like the Sun are going to use their last substitution here. Erica Timrack is going to come in, and that will be the end of the night for Parker Goins.
He replaces number 11, Kennedy Goins. The substitution comes in the 83rd minute.
So that's it. That's all the reinforcements that Tampa Bay can use. Again, coming into the night, Tampa Bay at home, 4 wins, 4 draws, just the 1 defeat in the Super League this season. It's in danger of being doubled if Spokane can see this out.
Obviously, you get the fresh legs with Erica Timrack, but you also get the experience, right? A veteran, a leader in these situations. Also, from an attacking perspective, a player who often plays on the half turn, very difficult to bring down, as we just saw, and can create a lot of chaos when she gets going, dribbling towards the back line. For Parker Goins, I think Denise Schulte-Brown tried her in a different position, a different part of the field. Obviously, we mentioned the first time she's in the starting 11 tonight. Wasn't as involved as I would have liked to see her, but I do think that she's got a place for this Tampa Bay Sun side. That's the tricky part. They have so much depth.
What a ball in by Zaid. Tried to find Flew, it was in traffic. No touch from a Spokane player. It's a goal kick. The last time Tampa Bay lost at home, get ready for this, September 14th of last calendar year. Brooklyn came here and won by a 0-0. That same scenario is staring Tampa Bay dead in the face at the moment with 5 minutes to go, and of course some stoppage time potentially on the back end, but they've got to throw in here. Can the Sun break through? It is a wonderfully acrobatic throw, but it fizzles out after there was a foul in the middle. A front flip throw?
Can you do that?
My goodness, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
In fairness, I can't either, but I'm just going to be silent and let the people see this. You can't do that?
You give me 100 tries, maybe one.
Okay, so you're saying there's a chance. That's what I hear.
A very small chance. That would have been one where the assist would have been better than the goal, as they say, if that had played out. And Tampa Bay keep on pushing here. Flint with the effort, kept alive. Nacello fizzing it back across. Spokane will clear it, only as far as Listro, who keeps the Sun in possession. It does feel like the time where Tampa Bay have to start throwing the kitchen sink at this here, down the stretch. Listro up ahead, and then the ball is just over the shoulder of Zaid, out of play. A little bit of frustration from the Sun faithful as another foul is given there. It does provide Spokane with an avenue to alleviate some of the pressure. The goal from Taylor Ulmer has Spokane on track for a valuable road win in their push to the playoffs. Of course, it's the Super League. There's always time for some late drama. Can I amend my earlier statement? 0 out of 100.
I knew when you started that the percentage had gone down massively.
I think Jordan Zaid may have practiced that a time or two. Here come the Sun. Chance for Flint. Nacello, she's been the outlet on this near side where Denise Schulte-Brown wants Tampa Bay to attack. Is there a challenge in there? Yes, it's a foul. Alyssa Nichols on the scene. It's a free kick for Tampa Bay, just outside the penalty area. Ooh, and a yellow card's come out as well. I think that goes to Reese Tappan.
And Sydney Nacello's ability to swivel her hips specifically is actually what makes her one of the most dangerous 1v1 attackers. She'll set her hips up to be going right, and then with her quick change, she'll be able to start going left. She'll get the inside shoulder on you before you know it. And that's ultimately what causes so many problems for defenders. It's an excellently won free kick.
From crosses and set pieces, Tampa Bay have come close more than once tonight. And Flint is open, and she equalizes on the deflection. Spokane were caught napping on the set piece. Tash Flint with a vital equalizer for Tampa Bay. And the Sun are level, it's 1 each.
And Natasha Flint, so intelligent. She actually went over to help set the play up, and you see her backpedaling from it there. The wall doesn't recognize that she's not going into the mix at the back post. A very strategic move by Natasha Flint, well recognized by Erica Timrack that the wall was not going with her. And you said it, Sean, a moment of lack in the back for Spokane. And we've said it, and we've probably said it too many times, but in both situations, both goals scored tonight, these are two teams who are the most dangerous when you make mistakes. They make you pay. And in both goals tonight, we have seen the mistakes be paid for. And that moment, a set piece, not turned on as they should have been. And the earlier goal, a goalkeeper not careful enough with the ball at her feet.
Up the other end, Spokane with a chance over the top of Cook's head. It's Flint's 6th goal of the season. She's now the joint leader for the Sun. And there's still 3 minutes of stoppage time for another twist. Flint scored the winner against Carolina last time out. She scored another vital goal here. And Tampa Bay feel they can go on and win this here. Another ball played across. Intended for Jamona, cut out. And Spokane come up the other end. Flint with a very cynical challenge here. Would not be surprised at all if the referee went to the pocket, and Flint is indeed booked.
No intention of playing the ball there.
It's just the way this fixture has played out this season. Anytime one team's felt like they've had a chance to secure it, there's always been another little twist from the other side. It's happened again tonight. And there's still time maybe for another late moment here. Spokane just about getting the ball in, but it was cleared. And then Zephyr do win it back here on the edge of the penalty area. And a sweeping shot does find its way through off the boot of Ali Cook, but Orkis quickly saves and releases. Near side, tap in, down the line for Vigiano. Jaskinek, back to Vigiano. Spokane play their way through. Zephyr are in, and it's a miscued shot, and then it was blocked away. Out for a corner as Rouse took aim. Corner for the visitors with seconds remaining here. And just about every white shirt is gonna come up to get in the queue. Can Spokane get the winner? It's curled in, and Orkis, when she needed to, collects it cleanly out of the air.
Absolutely, well said, Sean. My thoughts exactly. There have been moments where it's been questionable for Orkis coming out and catching a ball cleanly, collecting it cleanly. In these big-time moments, she comes up big. And I want to specify and put it in perspective just how big that goal was from Natasha Flint. It's going to be 27 if this result holds. It'll be 27 points for Tampa Bay, 19.
Spokane could still change it, and Spokane have won it! In a flash, Ali Cook leaps out of the phone booth and saves Spokane at the death! Who on earth is writing this stuff? Cook claims all 3 points for Zephyr with what surely is the last kick of the game.
And this is just work. That's a number 9 doing what a number 9 does. That's a complete quarter of a chance. No window at all. The near post covered extremely well by Ashley Orkis. And Ali Cook puts it, nestles it exactly where it has to go. And I scratch my entire point. As big as that could have been for Natasha Flint, it's even bigger for Spokane.
Second goal of the season for Cook. Could there be more drama at the back stick here? Spokane can't clear it, and then Cook is there. Nocello had a chance to level it again. Still a corner to come here, brought to you by the Baldwin Group. Can the Suns save it a second time? This game has been bonkers at the end. Corner is dealt with at the near post, and Spokane wins it! Spokane Zephyr and the long unbeaten home run for the Sun. And Ali Cook is the hero of the night in the USL Super League. A vital 3 points for Spokane's playoff hopes. And for the first time since September, Tampa Bay are beaten on their home patch by 2-1 after a Super League Classic.
And all you can do is praise the fight for both of these sides. And the point that we were trying to make is if that tie, if it would have ended in a tie for Spokane, they would have left this game 3 full points behind the 5th place spot. But with this win, with this vital win, as you so rightfully mentioned, Sean, they are just 2 games back, right on the outside, looking in.
Unbelievable twist of fate at the end. Ali Cook's 2nd Super League goal of the season stuns the Sun here in Tampa Bay. We'll come back to wrap it all up next.
On the screen. Have a great night. Drive safe. Thanks for coming.
Back here in Tampa Bay, Sean St. Jacques, Marion Crowder, still catching our breath after that unbelievable finish here in Florida. Spokane snatch all 3 points at the death, and we look back at the full-time highlights. And Marion, it begins with a Taylor Almer moment.
And truly, Sean, it starts and begins with Allie Cook. Taylor Almer is going to get the glory for this one, but Allie Cook did really well to cause that turnover, force Ashley Orcus out of position, which opened up the entire possibility for Taylor Almer to even have a chip shot. I'm going to say she meant to do it. With the wind at her back, she saw it, but we have to go all the way to the 89th minute. In between that, there was a lot to get through, but this was the key moment. A salvageable point for Tampa Bay Sun would have proven to be enough, and it would have put Spokane right back on the outside looking in. But with this late moment magic in stoppage time, 90+3, a lofted ball, and a number 9 doing what a number 9's supposed to do, which is finish. What a beauty of a goal, near post covered. 2 players on her, somehow, determination, grit, poise in the 18-yard box is what Allie Cook showed.
Such a well-taken goal from Allie Cook. On top of all that, this is what it means in the Super League standing. Spokane now just 7 points back of that final playoff spot, and they have a game in hand. Really important to mention that as well. Heartbreak for Tampa Bay, but the Sun are still just 2 points back, Marion, of that final playoff spot, currently occupied by Carolina Ascent.
And this is where Spokane starts to creep up. They're still on the outside looking in, but it's much tighter. And Sean, we said it, 2 games to make up and get into that potential 4th spot is a lot more doable than 3+, and that's what the win gave them tonight.
It all changed right at the end, right as we were sort of starting to wrap up what the table could look like. Allie Cook completely changed the narrative. That's how quickly everything can flip on its head.
We were trying to talk
Super
about
League.
how Natasha Flint's moment was going to be the one to walk off and the one to talk about. But Allie Cook had a different story, the confidence that she is playing with right now.
Certainly a smile on Spokane faces tonight, that's for sure, and they're provided by one of many Spokane saviors tonight. Allie Cook, he's kind enough to join us here pitch side at the end of this one. Allie, first and foremost, congratulations on the win and the goal.
Thank you.
How important was the fight of not just from you, but from the rest of the team to stay in it at the end?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, you can tell our team really wants it, and that's what we've been working on, like whole 90-minute performance. We started out hot, and then, you know, as the game goes, the momentum shifts, but even after that goal, you saw how we responded. So I was really proud of our team.
Allie, you're going to have to go back and watch that goal on film because I'm not sure that you understand how much of a beauty it was. You had 2 players on you. The near post covered so well by Ashley Orcus, and somehow your fight, your determination, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It was all over the place. Walk me through what was going through your head when you saw that ball go over the back line.
Yeah, I saw Haley pick her head up. I'm like, we're in the dying minutes of the game, so hoping that she plays it over, and I see it coming over my shoulder, and I'm like, all right, this ball's bouncing. I had a similar chance last game, and I hit it a little too high, so this time I'm like, all right, just get over it and hit it on frame. So that's all that was really running through my head.
Allie, congratulations. Thanks so much for catching up with us, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Well played, Allie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
What a game, what a goal, what a night in the USL Super League here on Peacock. Spokane looking as if they had dropped the points here in Tampa Bay. Go on and win it at the death thanks to a late superb finish by Allie Cook. For Marion Crowder and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We say so long from Tampa Bay. What a night of drama.